kia ora te whānau, tēnā tātou e hui hui mai nei I tēnei rā. Ko tēnei te kōrero auaha. And my name is Rewa Worley, and wow, I never thought that I would be standing in front of an audience like this as a poet. Guys, that was a joke. Come on, laugh with me. Oh man, I'm super nervous, but can we just do this one little thing before I jump up here? Just give me a second. I get a little bit nervous when my tech goes funny and then I got to give a talk in front of lots of people. But as I was saying, so I never actually thought that I would be standing in front of an audience like this in this place where I'm about to graduate in like 5 days. Actually, as a poet, I come from a long line of Māori overachievers. My uncle, he got a scholarship to study in Cambridge, the fancy one in England, not in Hamilton. So my other aunt, she was a computer programmer back when there weren't any in the 70s. She even might have got a job for Apple. Maybe I made that up. I don't know. And secondly, thirdly, my aunt, she championed Māori midwifery in this country. So if you live in Beach Haven, the first face you probably saw, it was a brown one. But no, my mother, of all of these people, of all of her siblings, my mother was probably the most gifted. Her name, Jan Bryant, I love her. She's my mom. I love my moms. But she became a doctor. She was one of only 3 people in her entire year to go through out of like almost 200. And she's lived in Pohara as towns ever since. And it's actually affected me as a youth growing up. What it was like to be Māori and to be like in that upper strata of whānau, but actually not be in that upper strata of whānau. But you can understand, being in my position, I come from one of those families, a Māori family, where we were, high achievers. So, when I was in, parent-teacher interviews, other kids would go out and they'd be playing outside and I'd be having a conversation with my mom. Oh, flip, where's my clicker? Sorry. I'd be having a conversation with my mom about my work ethic. And I'm like, Mom, I'm 7. Woo! But yeah, as you can understand, I did biology, physics, chemistry. I was on my way to med school. That was who I was. I didn't do creative performance. I never did drama in my life. And then when I got to university, as I was studying biomedicine, something interesting happened. I fell in love with the arts. One person like, yeah. So I fell in love with the arts. And I went to this one poetry workshop called Rising Voices. Now, if you guys have heard of Rising Voices, I hope you have, but if you haven't, that's Kate Pai. But Rising Voices, I went there and there was about 15 people in a room. And we all sat there and we brought these things that we had written. And these were some of the things that I'd been musing over, some of the things in my life. And in that moment, I realized, wow, this is something different. This is something important, because not only were we there just because we wanted to share something, but because we were all looking for a meaningful exchange. So that was our kaupapa, and that was there, and that was like 5 years ago. And I've spent, 5 years and 39,792 words trying to figure out with this and with this and with these what was going on in here in that moment. That was me talking about poetry. That was me talking about my life. That was me trying to find a meaningful exchange in a room full of 15 people. But the crazy thing is it's not just about, I did all of this and that was great for me. This is something that is blowing up in this country. Now, how many of you guys have heard of spoken word? Thank you. I appreciate that because it makes my job a lot easier, but it also says that there's a whole bunch of young people in here who know that something is about to go down, and that it's not just, okay, cool, it's lovely to stand on this stage, but it's also empowering each and every one person, because you all have the opportunity to stand on stages, in workshops, in high schools, anywhere you want to express what you need to express. And spoken word happens to be that format. I've actually done my master's in public health. I told you guys this, you gave me the hand clap before, and I've got to mention a few of these things, but basically, like, what spoken word, and this is not a plaster, it's all of the notes I was supposed to say earlier. So, spoken word poetry, it's about self-reflective practice. It's about normative, emotional communication and conversation. It's, if you've heard of this thing called EQ, it's emotional quotient, that's what spoken word can be. It's about using empowerment as an intransitive verb, not from one person empowering a group of people like yourselves. It's about people taking up empowerment through the pen. I had a pen here, but I can't pull it out now. It's about a whole bunch of different things. It's about identity renegotiation. It's about the generation of social capital for youth and young people. It's so many things, and I'm hoping some of you guys will come talk to me afterwards because it's my life, and it's changed mine. That being said, Rising Voices, thank you. Yep, I got to that. So I've been gifted to go into workshops and high schools everywhere to talk about spoken word, not just to talk about it, but to facilitate spaces where youth and young people can talk. And this is one of them, right? And this is the part where I do a little bit of a plug, so please, aroha mai. So anyways, if you know someone who would be perfect for this, someone who needs to express that, please go to the one in the middle with the brown guy who's my friend Brian. If you know a space or a place where this could actually exist, please go and hit us up at Action Education or come talk to me afterwards. Thank you. Thanks, Stevie. Or if you want to partner with a place like this, come hit us up at Waxed Poetic Revival. We have so many things that we want to do for youth and young people because this is more than just sharing cool words on a stage. It's about actually trying to find the emotional connection that people have, to find that meaningful exchange. Cool, sorry. Oh, and I got to do a thank you to the South Auckland Poets Collective, Curative, and my mom, and Auckland University on the side. That's my mom, Chair Tefano. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to share a poem with you guys just before I leave. And this is actually one of the first poems I ever wrote with my bro Dietrich. And it goes like this. In Kohanga, the language nest, when I was still small, maybe 3 or 4, they told all of us, the children who listened, the story of how our world was made. And in it, the void, te kore, an empty silhouette of what would be, filled its emptiness with the essence of the night. Te pō tāhuri mai ki tai ao, time and distance, spiraling down its spine, leaving dreams and ripples of what may come in its memory and reaching its depths. Casting from this womb's lips the star-crossed lovers. Rangi, the sky father, and the earth papatuanuku beneath him, kissed into existence, side by side. And their love was one without time or limits. There was no line where one began and the other finished, wrapped in the dark by a shroud, a cloak that bound them so close that as they slept, he would breathe her breath while she felt his chest move up and down against his, filling his lungs with the taste of her dust, just long enough to give it back again. And once, as if plowing through a field, he would plant their son, a seed, Tane, the forest, but in need of space and sun, sprouting out from my mother, my legs like tree trunks, feet branching into the sky as I pushed away at my father, so that the light and the cold could stream into the space between. Separation must have been hard for them. Divorce is not something we like to talk about. Even now, I still see my father sometimes, in a world of his own, his head somewhere in the clouds. And even though I never saw it, I knew from the look in his eyes, like the colors in the sunset, that he had shed and cried tears for all the things that he had lost. Like a myth or a legend. A story that I never forgot. Thank you.